When did you start first working with Rosamund, and what kind of work were you doing at the time?
Oh my God! You know, yeah. So it was a long time ago, but I remember I was with Richard Kohlenschmidt for years, for a long time, and then that didn't work out. He folded, and I left, and I remember I came in. I asked you if you wanted to come over. I called, and you came over, and we didn't have a good meeting. I remember. It was,
What's wrong with it?
I don't know, you were just kind of like, you came in the studio and you're like, I don't know. It's true. And I was like, well, forget that. And then about 2 weeks later, you called up and you said, hey, come on in and have a drink. And I went, wow, that's nice. So I came in and it was Santa Monica, in the big gallery of Santa Monica, and you poured me a scotch. And he said, I'd really...
Those were the days.
Yeah, I know. He said, I'd really like to show you. I went, oh, really? And I think Mark Pallet talked to you and said, hey, I think you should show this guy. I don't know if you remember that.
You know, I wish I could remember. My memory is so bad these days. But that could be. Yeah.
That's it. And then we did the show of these lens paintings, these resin paintings, and that's how it started. You know.
Were they like this work, or was it?
No.
Very different.
Yeah. They were made from all sorts of different materials, industrial materials. A lot of times it was cast resin that I was doing in the studio and combining it with metal or with beautiful wood, and it was but it was abstract, you know, but much different style. I think back then I wanted to paint like this. But I just had a sort of feel for these industrial materials, not kind of like non-traditional materials. So I was just exploiting that. But yeah, then I would call up after a show. I would call up and go, "When's the next one?" And you go, you would look at your book. You would look and you go, "Okay, we could do one in a year and a half." And I would go, "Put me down." Yeah,
Okay.
No matter what. You know?
And you came through.
Yeah, pretty funny. I was relentless. And some shows were great, some were successful, other ones just sort of, but no matter what, you always let me have another show. You know, it's a little different now, right? So.
Well, I don't have a gallery.
Well, no, being as an artist is different now.
Yeah. Oh, the art world is different, is what you mean. Yeah. That's for sure.
Without Rosamund, it's different.
Yeah, but...
Well, I wanted to bring up for those that don't know Tim's entire career, he's gone through a lot of changes in his approach to art making. So it's very rare for a dealer to sort of go with that. And that's one of the remarkable things about this relationship between Rosamund and Tim, that he made figurative painting, he made metal, sculptural pieces, fish, all sorts of interesting things. And
everything you're not supposed to do. Yeah.
And how was that when you saw a new body, Rosamund, when you saw a new body of work of his that was like completely different? How did you react to that, and what was the...
Well, it would depend on whether I like it or not. I like the idea of an artist doing one thing and then going on to move to another. That's growth, development. I think that's a really good sign. So when he was doing that, I would encourage that. So let's see more of this. Oh boy, let's do that. What else are you gonna do? So that's great. So,
Well, this is a very rare thing in the art world, because most of the dealers, don't do that. We have clients for this, and don't try anything new.
that's the last thing I thought of was clients.
Yeah, me too.
I thought of, I had more of a museum background than a gallery background, and so I was thinking of art history, and I was thinking of how an artist works and develops new ideas and what they turn into and what they become, and I felt that was the most important thing.
I felt that. That was, not many of the shows were like financial successes. We made some sales, but you never impose that anxiety, which can be something that's really inhibiting.
Yeah,
So I always felt like I better come up with another idea. And so if I had the date of a year and a half, I would go, okay, let's start a project, I remember Lena would go through this with me, there would be like this.
that's his wife.
Yeah, oh, Lena, my wife. Yes, excuse me. There would be kind of experimental period, for 2 or 3, 4 months. And then all of a sudden, boom, an idea would kind of gel. And then it was about executing it. And then right up towards the final date of the show, it's almost as if I had kind of exploited the idea to its fullest, whether it got as big as it could get or as elaborate or the idea started to lose its punch. But there was always like this sense of closure between a year and a half or 2 years between each body of work. So it was a fun challenge for each show to kind of come up with that's not just a theme, but to kind of traverse through an idea and let it sort of feed into another idea. And it's not like I got better and better as an artist. It wasn't about so much that, because a lot of the work would almost exist in contradistinction to the last work. Like one work would be abstract, and then the next work would be like goofy fish, and it would be like, what the hell is this? And that was the fun of it. People never knew what they would expect when they would come to see a show.
That's right. One of his great loves is deep sea fishing, so that's what the fish is about. So he does ocean paintings, as you see. So that's what that is. But what the heck, And also, I think your work is so positive, and it's pleasant. I don't mean pleasant in an easygoing way, but I mean it's positive, and I think that's wonderful to look at, and it encourages you to spend time really looking at the work.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, I think about it though. I mean, I really enjoy my time in the studio. It's boring sometimes. It's tedious, but it feels like it's what I'm supposed to do. And I almost feel kind of isolated.
Yeah, well, of course. There you are alone in the studio.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I'm kind of like that. It's okay, what can you come up with today? There's something kind of childlike about it, I guess. Got to do something here, so make it interesting.